Let's now install Semver package together and examine its features. You can do this using npm i Semver or yarn add Semver. So let's go to CLI and in the project folder just npm i Semver. This package doesn't have any dependencies, it is relatively small and now it is installed. Let's go to Visual Studio Code and examine this package. So click here refresh and in node modules folder you will see new Semver folder. And let's click on the package.json file. So name of the package is Semver and version is 5.5.0. And this package doesn't have any own dependencies. And this .bin folder contains Semver file. We will talk about this .bin folder later on. Okay, let's now minify it and let's minify node modules folder. Let's go to the index.js file and let's now use this Semver package. So I'll remove all of this at the moment and just const Semver equal to require Semver, like this. So let's use it. So just console log and just Semver dot. And here you see a long list of different helper methods that are available with Semver package. Let's go back to the package description on npm and here you will see some samples. For example, you can check whether certain version is valid or not using semver.valid syntax. So let's use this helper method. Let's go to Visual Studio and just semver.valid. And here I will pass, for example, 1.5.2 version. Let's save this file and go back to the terminal, and in the terminal just node src index.js. So we will run this file. And result is 1.5.2. Let's pass, for example, 15.2. So remove one dot. Save the file and go back to the console. Now you see null. It means that if version is invalid, you will get null. If version is valid, you will get it back. For example, we can add dot back and add, for example, beta release. So dash beta dot 10. Save file and run it again. So this version is valid. If I will remove dash, for example, here and save the file, then version will be invalid and I get null. Let's try next method. Let's go back to Google Chrome and let's try, for example, greater than method. So this method compares first version with second version. And if first one is greater than second one, then you will get true. If it is not greater, then you will get false. So let's use it. So greater than, and as the first argument I'll pass, for example, 1.2.3, and second argument will be 4.3.2. Let's save the file and in the terminal let's launch it again. So I'll get false, because 1.2.3 is not greater than this version. If I will change here 1 to 5 and save the file, I'll get result true. So 5.2.3 is greater than 4.3.2. Let's change, for example, 5.2.3 to 4.3.2 and add beta 0. And here I'll add beta.5. Let's save the file and execute again. False. It means that this version is not greater than this one. If I will change 0 here to 10 and save the file, now it will return true. So because .10, so beta release.10 is greater than beta release.5. Okay, let's try next method. So let's remove this and let's go back to Google Chrome and look, for example, at coerce method. This method tries to coerce string that you pass here as an argument to valid version. So let's try this one. So just coerce and here pass just v3, for example. Let's delete here unneeded parent. So save the file and launch it. And here you see result. So version 3.0.0. And here you get not just string, you get an object. And you can access different properties of this object. So for example, .raw will return you raw version as a string. You also see here major version is 3, minor is 0, and patch is 0. Let's now try to access certain property of this object, for example, raw. Let's go back to Visual Studio and add here .raw. Save the file, go back, and now you get just 3.0.0. Okay, let's try another method. So let's try, for example, range. So using range, you can create a range and then check whether a certain version matches this range or not. Let's create range. So first let's create a new constant, so const range, and it is equal to Semver dot range, capital letter range, and here I'll create new range. Let's go to our package.json file and simply take this version. So caret 2.22.2. Let's copy it and paste here. So this condition. Let's simply console log this range. And I'll comment this out. Let's save the file and launch it. And here you see range. So range is an object. And here you see that this raw string was converted to this range. So version must be greater than 2.22.2, but less than 3.0.0. We have discussed this before. So this caret means that minor version and patch versions can be changed. But major version must be left unchanged. So that's exactly what you see here. Let's now use this range. So let's add here console log statement and just Semver dot and here find satisfies method. This method takes two parameters. So first is just version that you want to check. So let's check version 2.23.3. And second argument is range. So we can use this range. So just range. Let's save this file and execute it. So now you see result, true. We have checked version 2.23.3 and this version matches this range. So because we have changed just minor version, this one. Let's try to change major version. So just 3.0.0. Let's save this and launch it again. So now we got false, because 3.0.0 is not in this range. Okay, let's now change this range. And instead of caret, I will use tilde. So tilde 2.22.2. And I'll test version 2.23.2. So I change minor version. So let's save it, go back and execute script. And it is false. And now you see that range is between 2.22.2 and 2.23.0. So we can change only patch version. That's what this tilde means. So if I'll test 2.22.5, for example, then I'll get true here. Okay, let's try one more thing. So go back to Visual Studio and delete this part, we don't need it anymore. And here I'll use inc method. So this inc method takes initial version, so like 1.4.3, and increments it. So we can increment, for example, just patch. So here I'll pass patch as second argument. Let's save this and execute file. And here you will see 1.4.4. So we have just incremented patch. I can increment minor version. And now I'll get 1.5.0. So I have updated my version to next minor release. If I'll change here to major, now you will get 2.0.0. And finally, let's look at the parse method. So just instead of inc, let's use parse, and here just version. So let's pass 1.4.3-alpha.10. Let's save this and launch the file. And here you will see parsed version. So raw input, here it is, and it will be parsed to major version, it's 1, minor 4, patch 3, and pre-release. It is array of 2 values, so it is alpha and 10th version of alpha. Okay, now you know how to use Semver package. It is a very convenient method to check version, to create ranges, and to verify if certain version is inside of certain range. This Semver package is used in Babel when you compare version of different browsers. We will talk about this later on. Now let's move on and let's try one more package. See you shortly.